doing 45 minutes of live side split stretching starting right now. We do this every day to practice consistency, to build a little community, and hopefully, with enough suffering together consistently enough, we'll make a whole bunch of progress into our side split goals. If that sounds cool, hit follow, hit subscribe, keep on coming back because we are working on consistency and we're doing this every single day. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and warm up right now. I'm gonna get the cushion out of the way. We're gonna need that a little bit, but not right now. We're gonna start with, I have not cleared the field of all the obstacles. We're gonna get started with our warm up. We're gonna do hip cars. Hip cars are all about moving your legs through their full range of motion at the hip level, at the hip socket level, using muscle power. So we're gonna start by lifting our knee as high as possible. High, 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 high. We're gonna we're gonna open up that hip directly to the side, and your knee is pointing directly to the left in my case. If you're mirrored, to the right, or I guess, that's still right. From here, we're gonna lift and rotate this leg until it's perfectly sideways. And then we're gonna try our best to rotate and bring that ankle up as high as we can bring it. Then finally, from there, we're gonna bring the leg down and back, flexing the hamstrings, flexing the glutes, pulling this knee behind us. Breathe. And that is one rep. We're gonna do 10 of these on the left side, 10 of these on the right side, and these are called hip cars. Let's go. High knee, open, ankle up, ankle up, ankle up, leg down and back. High knee, open, ankle up, down and back. High knee, open, ankle up, down and back. I think that's 3, 4, 5. We're doing 10 on each side. 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Hip cars, left side, done. Let's switch it off. Get to the other side, and let's go. High knee. Open up that hip directly to the side. Rotate the legs so that the ankles are up as high as you can bring them. Bring the leg down and back. Flex the hamstrings, flex the glutes. Pull this leg behind you. Feel the stretch in your hip flexor. That is one rep. We got 9 more. Let's go. High knee. Open. Ankle up. Down and back. High knee. Open up. Ankle up. Down and back. High knee. Open up. Ankle up. Down and back. High knee. Open up. Ankle up. Down and back. Completely lost track of how many we're supposed to have done. I think it's 4, maybe 5. Let's go. 10 total, 5 more. High knee. Open. Ankle up. Down and back. High knee. Open up. Ankle up. Down and back. That's 6. Or maybe 7. 8. 9. Last one. 10. All right, those are hip cars going forward. Now we're going to do hip cars going backwards. We're going to hold all of the same main positions, but going in reverse order is sometimes a little confusing, so let's do it. Okay. We are going to start by bringing the leg down and back first, flexing the hamstrings, flexing the glutes, using this knee, bringing it back behind the standing knee, trying to keep your upper body relatively straight and straight up. Really feel that stretch here in the hip flexor in the front. Then we're going to lift the leg directly up to the side like you're a martial artist and go kick somebody. But I want you to try your best to bring that ankle as high as it can go. Bring the knee down. Then reverse all of that work. Bring the ankle real low. Lift that knee high. And bring your leg directly in front of you. That is one rep. We're going to do 10 more. Let's go. Back. Side. Ankle up. ankle down, knee, back, side, ankle up, ankle down, knee. It's 2, 3, ankle up, ankle down, knee. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Whew. We got one more set of 10. One last leg. Let's do it. Again, leg, back, flex the hamstrings, flex the glutes, feel the stretch in the hip flexor. Lift directly to the side, like you're gonna kick something. But we're not gonna kick something. We're gonna work extra hard, rotate that ankle as high as we can get it, and then do the opposite. Bring the ankle as low as we can get it. Keep that knee high. We're gonna bring the knee to the front. Whew. Oh man, that first one is always really rough because I have a little bit of weirdness in that hip. And the first time, I bring the hip across, usually my hip cracks a little bit. So if your hip is making a little bit of noise, that's totally normal. We're working on trying to get the hip joint a little bit smoother, but inevitably, there's gonna be stuff. There's gonna be stuff. Okay, let's go. We got 10 more reps. Back, side, ankle up, ankle down, knee. Ooh, back, side, ankle up, ankle down, knee. That's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, almost done. Ankle up, ankle down, knee. 8, side, ankle up, ankle down, knee. 9, ankle up, ankle down, knee. Last one. And 10. That is your hip curls, going forward, going back. 10 reps on either leg. And if you're out of breath, don't worry, I am too. Mine might be because I talk so much. We just did the first warm-up exercise. We have 2 more to go. The first one was the hip curls, all about getting stronger and more mobile using our own muscles at that hip. And then number 2, it's called the elephant walk, and it looks a little bit like this. First, we're getting to this L shape. If you're a little bit higher up, that's okay, it's part of the process. But I want you to try to bring your belly button down towards the ground, all right? Your hamstrings are gonna tighten up, and that's okay. That's exactly what happens. I want you to just chill, relax, hang out here, focus on bringing the belly button down towards the ground, all right? Whew. If you have slightly achy knees, give your knee a slight bend. And if you do that, I want you to bring that belly button down extra low with even more intention because you're creating some slack when you bend the knees. All right? All right, now that we've hung out here for a little bit, hung out in this position, we're going to start bending one knee and straightening the other. From the front, it's going to look a little bit like this. I don't think yet you'll see much. It's going to look a little bit like this. Okay? From the side, we're bending one knee, straighten out the other, feeling the stretch in the hamstrings, and still focusing on bringing the belly button down. This is going to feel pretty intense. It's going to feel a little bit weird, and that is a-okay. It's supposed to feel that way. You might feel almost the muscles, the different parts of your hamstrings sort of sliding across each other and shifting in your leg, and that is all right. Keep going. You might feel maybe a little bit of tingliness in your toes and your calves. That is the nerves getting a little bit of a stretch in, and that is also relatively okay. Whew. Okay, we're gonna do a couple more seconds of this, and then we're gonna move on into some thoracic rotations from this position. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Whew. All right, come on up. Shake out the legs, especially if they're feeling a little bit tingly. And we're gonna get right back into that position and do some thoracic rotation. Legs about hips width apart. Fold forward, bend one knee. So my left leg is bent, my right leg is straight. My left hand is gonna go across the body to the right side, push against the outside of the leg to help my chest rotate and turn to the right. I'm gonna extend my right arm behind me. I'm gonna use my neck to look backwards, turning up to the right. Look at those hands. And come back down. I'm gonna do the same for the other side. Now my right knee is bent. My left leg is straight. My right hand goes across the body to the left side, pushes. My chest is going to the left. My arms are going up. And I am looking at those fingers, rotating, 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 rotating. Whew, that is one rep. We're gonna do 5 more of these. Let's go. Reach. Every time you do this, try to reach a little bit further over that shoulder. We're only doing 5 of these, so it's very possible for you to actually make a little bit of progress each time. I think that's 2, 3, 4, and last one, 5. Whew, those are a couple of thoracic rotations, getting the mid to upper back loosened up, reaching, getting them moved. We're not doing that many, and that is all that we do for the upper back and for sort of your shoulders, your arms, your triceps, etc. So I hope that's enough because we're moving on. With that, we're going to move on into warm-up exercise number 3. It is actually the hardest part of the whole thing in terms of exercises because we're doing a lot of reps and it requires a lot of power and a lot of mobility. So if you need to, take a quick break and grab a sip of water as you need it. Cool? The third warm-up exercise is the Cossack switch. And it looks a little bit like this. We're going to open up our legs decently wide, nothing crazy. We're going to try our best to drop down to one side, like so. My only requirement is that if your toes are pointed in a direction, your knees travel in that same direction. If there's a little tiny bit of a wobble as you get into position, that's okay. But if you end up going into a position like this, where your knee is out in there and your foot is out here, that's a no-no, that's bad. And the same the other way. If your knee is all the way out there, but your ankle is down here, that is also a no-no, don't do that. Knees traveling in the same direction as your toes are pointing. Cool? So from here, we want to drop down into a deep, squatty looking position on one leg. We want to feel that Achilles tendon down here. We want to feel the stretch in the calf. All right? There's going to be pressure in the front of the ankle. There's pressure in the hip, and those are all normal. We're going to try our best to bring the hamstring down on top of the calf and try to rest and squish into this position. If your heels come up while you're squished down to help you balance, that is a-okay. All right? On this side, this leg is externally rotating. What that means is your ankle is down, your toes are up, and your knees are pointing up. This is important because we need this leg to rotate when we do the side splits in order to get the hip bone to not smash into the leg bone. Cool? So you don't have to worry about the anatomy so much. Just know your toes got to point up, your knees got to point up. We're going to chill out here for a little bit. Maybe feel a little bit of a stretch here in the hamstrings while we squish down on that side. Whew. What else do we need to talk about while we wait this out? I think that's it. All right, let's move to the other side. You can put your hands down to help shift your weight over to the other side. We're going to do the same thing on the other side. Again, plant that feet. Feel the Achilles tendon. Your knees are traveling in the same direction that your toes are pointing. Get deep, 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 deep. Feel the Achilles tendon. Feel that calf stretch. Feel the pressure in the front of the ankle. Feel the pressure in that hip. And Once you've hung out there for a second, I want you to squish down and compress. Put the hamstrings on the calf and try to just squish as low as you can go. If your heels come up a little bit while you do this, that is a-okay. On this side, again, we're doing external leg rotation. Your heels are down, your toes are up, and your knees are pointing up. This is called external leg rotation because if we were standing up straight and we did that same position, it'd be us turning our leg out so that the toes are pointing directly to the outside. Now, if we drop down and keep that leg in the exact same orientation and squish down, ta-da, it's in that externally rotated position. Okay, this is all set up. We're still squishing, we're still lengthening, getting a little bit of a stretch in. The Cossack switch is all about going from side to side. We're gonna do 10 reps, left, right, left, right, left, right. To get to the other side, you got a couple of options. To make it a little bit easier on yourself, you don't need as much balance, you don't need as much strength in your legs and in your hips if you plant your hands and use them to help bring your butt over to the other side. All right, when you do this, there's two things I want you to try your best to do. I want you to try to keep that heel down. You're already using your hands, so try your best to get your heels down. When you come over to the other side, you can, sorry, I forgot to put my hands down. Keep your hands down and chill for 1 second in each of the end positions in this little bit of a stretch. Cool? If you are looking for a little bit more of a challenge, you can start moving without putting your hands down. You can still keep this angle, keep yourself low to the ground, and start shifting from side to side. And if you want to make this really challenging, you can try to sit up a little bit straighter. You can try to extend your arms in front of you to help counterbalance. And keep going. I actually find that it's easier to try and keep the chest a little bit more upright and extend the arms forward to help with your heels staying down. I have absolutely no idea how many of these we've done already, but I'm pretty close. We are very close. I'm pretty sure we're very close to 10 reps on both sides. I'm gonna just do 3 more and then we'll move on into our stretches. 3, 2, last one, and come on out of that. I hope you've been keeping count and you haven't done significantly more than 10 reps on either side. Because I am pooped. That is our entire warm-up. We are sweating, and I'm gonna come over to check the chat because I have not been over in a little bit. All right. On YouTube, Queen R says, "Oh my God, another Seeker stream. I'm loving that." Funny. Paul says, "Hi, where are you from?" And Queen R has responded, he's from the US. Lovely. All right. TikTok, scrolling through the chat. Oh, wow, I feel like I missed a lot. Hold on. I'm going to scroll and read. Travel with Roxy says, "Another morning stream? Yay, yes." We got such good feedback about coming in yesterday morning that I wanted to make sure that I tried my best to get another morning stream going for 9 a.m. And so far, it looks like it has gotten really good traction. So thank you guys for coming in, hopping in, practicing live. If you don't know, we do 45-ish minutes, 60 minutes of live side split stretching every single day. Usually it's at 9 p.m. Eastern, so after work. But on the weekends, I'm trying this new thing where I also do them at 9 a.m. Eastern time to see if there's people who can benefit from having a morning session. Cool? Matt says, "Only thing I would add to that is getting as much hip extension in there as possible. Love hip cars." Absolutely, Matt. Hip extension is one of my absolute worst ranges of motion, and I have really tight hip flexors. So it is definitely a struggle to bring that leg behind me, hip extension. Whew. Scrolling down, let's see what else we got to cover. As Kate sees it, says, "Hello, everybody. Welcome, Kate." Miss Chest Life says, "I'm about to do this. Thanks." Yes. Lovely. Nefertari says that felt amazing. Oh my gosh, we have a whole bunch of people on who are trying it for the first time, I think, because I don't think I recognize these names. So this is amazing. Leo Blackjaw says 10 more reps, I'm out. Okay, I hope you enjoyed the 10 reps. Okay, scrolling through the chat. We are almost done and I'm almost about to get back into the side splits. Let's see. Thoracic stretch, yes, it is super important. Your spine is actually designed to do a lot of movement, right? Like, you can go from side to side, you can do front and back like the cat-cow, but there's also a lot of rotation. And if you do a sport like boxing where you have a lot of rotation coming from your hips, coming from your shoulder, coming from your back, maybe you're more used to it. But as a normal everyday life type person, thoracic rotation is kind of not, how do I say this? Prioritized in any way. I think the only time we do any of this is when we check our blind spot when we're driving, right? And even that, it's a lot of driving assistance. You're not doing much of that either. Rogue says that thoracic extension rotation almost took me out. It is a hard stretch. That's why we only do 5. We got a question from Hiss. Do you have any good stretches for tight ankles or Achilles tendon? I recommend you strengthen and stretch at the same time. There are 2 main muscles in the calves, and by 2, you only have to, there's 2. The one that everybody knows is sort of leaning forward and getting that calf stretched like so. If you work on strengthening by doing calf raises while coming from a stretched position, that would be super helpful. You can elevate that calf for more of a calf stretch. And there is a second calf muscle, which is the one that we are stretching out the most when we are in that Cossack switch position. And that only happens when the knee is bent like so. You can actually feel it when you're here. The bottom calf right here is what's hard and tensed. This one up here, the other calf, the main calf that we look at when we do calf stretches, is all soft and squishy. Cool? So you can do the same thing. If you bend the knee, lean into the wall, and then come up onto the calf raise, that will work the second calf muscle. So bent knee, calf raise, straightened leg, calf raise. Those will help to strengthen and stretch out your calves. Okay, quickly scroll to the bottom of the chat, and we'll get back to the actual stretches. If you are just coming in, oh, I think I hit the bottom. Oh man, okay, hold on. We got serious stuff coming in here. How did it jump to the bottom of the page? I feel like a lot of chat just disappeared. Tammy says, I just had surgery and cannot do any of this right now, but I'm so glad I came across your page. Tammy, thank you for being here. Thank you for saying that. We try our best. I try my best to be here every day so that we can help out people practice consistency and get a little bit of exercise in when they can. You're probably not in the best position to go do these exercises, but you are here, and I hope you enjoyed the good vibes. And when you are ready, I hope you come back. All right, let's see. Ooh, and Tammy sent this nice to meet you gift. Cute. Lovely. Jeff Hall, 188, says, I'm new here, and you're all over the place on my For You page. That is awesome. That's how I want the algorithm to work, so I'm glad that you're here. Thank you, TikTok algorithm. Liza Rivera says, good morning. Forest Queen 73. We are just starting, actually, so you have not missed anything. I have just spent a long time covering comments because I wasn't expecting so many comments to come in. Liza Rivera says, I need help, please. I have a fractured pelvis. I got bad news. I have no expertise in fractured pelvises or how to take care of that kind of injury, so I'm not going to be able to do very much to help you. I recommend, I don't know, finding a PT for that in particular. I got nothing. I'm sorry. Travel Thoracic responded, we are just 2 out of 8 stretches in, so you have not missed anything. Great. Okay. I think with that, we are at the bottom of the chat. Oh, wait, what? I think the chat just keeps on jumping to the bottom of the screen randomly. And hold on. Mikey Foss says, good morning. Good morning. All right. For everybody who's still on. We do 45 minutes of live side split stretching usually at 9 p.m. And I'm trying out this new 9 a.m. thing. And we do this every day to practice consistency, to build a little bit of community. I try to bring good vibes, good energy so that I can help you practice consistency. The goal is to practice a whole bunch of exercises that make us a little bit better at the side splits so that hopefully we make a whole bunch of progress in our side splits because we're here all the time and we keep on practicing. Cool? So, with that, we've done 3 of our warm-up exercises. We've sweat a whole bunch. If you're just joining in, you have not sweat a whole bunch yet. But we're getting into our 5 stretches. The first stretch is the hamstring stretch, and it looks a little bit like this. You're going to need something to pad your knee because we're doing the hamstring stretch like so. I'm going to point it towards you guys before I turn sideways. We're pointing our hips forward, our shoulders forward, head forward, and we're sticking this leg directly forward. The goal is to bring the belly button down, fold it towards this upper thigh. All right, and that is the hamstring stretch. So this knee right here is going to be carrying a lot of weight. So I recommend you go steal a cushion from the couch, maybe your pet bed, maybe an old flip-flop that you don't care about, or a shoe that you don't care about, because we are going to get started in just a second. When you have your cushion, come on over. Once again, hips pointed forward, shoulders pointing forward, leg pointing forward. If you want, you can slightly open up your stance. Your leg is slightly off to the side to give you a wider stance to help you balance, but that really depends on what you're capable of, right? Let's pull this leg into the hip socket so we can really focus on just the hamstring stretch. I don't want you to be fully extended out here doing a front split or anything right now. This is a hamstring stretch, all right? Pull that leg into the socket, and again, we're bringing the belly button down, we're folding forward. Your hamstrings are going to be super tight, they're going to be unhappy, and that is a-okay. That is what we're working on. Take a nice deep breath in, slowly exhale, and as you exhale, fold. Okay, take some normal breaths, as normal as this suffering allows you. All right, we're gonna take one more big inhale, exhale, and then we're gonna start a 30-second hold. Ready? Inhale. Exhale. Fold. And 30, 29, 28, 27, 26. Try to keep that back relatively straight. If you have a slight bend, it's a-okay. Just not something crazy like this. All right. 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14. If your knees are feeling a little sensitive, they're feeling a little achy, you can give them a slight bend, take some pressure off that knee. Then really focus on folding forward because you reduced the hamstring stretch by bending the knee. Bring that belly button and chest down to the leg, and then slowly straighten it out afterwards. I hope that makes sense. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Oh, come on up out of the hamstring stretch. Take a second to breathe, relax. And we're going to switch over to the other side. What did I just do? My right leg was stretched, so now my left leg needs to get stretched. Drop down to one knee. Extend the leg out in front. You can open it slightly to the side to help you with balance here. Pull the leg into the hip socket, fold at the hips, feel the hamstrings tightening up. Let's do the inhale, exhale, inhale. Exhale and fold. Oh man, that's bad. Oh yeah. Take some normal breaths. One more inhale, one more exhale. Let's go. Inhale. Exhale. Hamstrings are tightening up. We are folding that belly button down towards the thigh, towards the ground. 30, 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All right. We're done with the hamstring stretch. If you felt like your hamstrings are rough, but way too tight, and that was a really intense stretch, that is okay. We do this every day to practice consistency because we know a little bit of progress every day is all that matters. This cushion, you don't need it anymore. You can toss it off to the side. Just try not to break anything because that would be a really unnecessary disruption to our side splits. Let's go on and move into stretch number 2, the butterfly stretch. I recommend you get your butt to a wall for this stretch. If you know the general butterfly stretch, you probably know that you're bringing the feet together, you're pulling them into the groin, and you're trying to open up those legs. Maybe you're trying to fold forward like this. Those are all great things. If you're super flexible, you can really open up your legs really wide and you can fold forward. Amazing. For the rest of us mere mortals, we're going to talk about some tips to make this a better stretch for you. The first thing I want you to do is get your butt to this wall. Your hips, your shoulder, your head are against the wall. If you need something else because you don't quite have enough space like me, you're a little bit stuck, you can use this table, for example, and line your back up to this leg. Cool? I'm going to eventually shift over there, but for the demonstration, I'm over here. When you are here and your hips, your shoulder, your head is gently touching the wall and you have this kind of nice straight posture that you'll never get back into without the help of a wall, bring your feet in together towards your hips and try your best to bring your knees down into the ground. I want you to use your outer thigh muscles, your glutes, to do that with your own muscle power, all right? So we're gonna try our best to open up those hips using our own muscles. And once you have gotten as deep and as wide open as you can, I want you to take your hands and apply a little bit of pressure. When you do this, the back of your head, the tops of your shoulders will start feeling a lot of pressure. They're pushing into the wall. And that is exactly what the wall is there for, is to keep you from leaning back when you push into your legs and help you get all that force applied into your legs to help you open up those muscles. Whew. All right, let's go. We're holding this for 30 seconds. 30, 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Oh, okay, let the hands go. If you did that right, your legs might feel kind of tired, kind of like stuck, and that is normal. That's totally okay. That's what happens when you contract the muscle and you hold that contraction. You're trying to pull it open for a really long time. The rest of the muscles kind of fall asleep, and all you gotta do is lift that leg just a little bit on either side. It'll come right back to life, and you can flap the wings of this butterfly. All right, that is stretch number 2. Let's move on into stretch number 3. Come on up, back into standing. I did say a second ago that I was going to do it in front of the desk, the table, in front of the leg. Turns out, I feel like I had just barely enough room to kind of make it work in that corner, so I didn't. Whew, okay. Give yourself a little bit of a hip massage. Relax, take a sip of water. We're going to move on into the third stretch in a second. Over on YouTube, we got a question. Why is he in the naughty corner? Did his mom punish him? Yes. My mom punished me with a total lack of hip flexibility. So, actually, my mom is flexible. I guess my dad punished me with hip flexibility poorness. And that's why I'm in the naughty corner. I am stretching out those hips, getting them ready for a very productive life of hip activity. I don't know where this analogy is going, so I'm going to just move on. Cool. Mikey Foss said, good morning over here on TikTok. Good morning. All right. And of course, as soon as I start scrolling down the chat, the chat refreshes all the way to the bottom of the page. Okay, algorithm is working. That's how I found you. Great, Tammy. That is awesome to hear. Travel actually says this is great for lower body mobility in general. Yes, that is absolutely correct. You don't get into the side splits magically overnight. You build up a whole bunch of lower body mobility first. And that is what we are all about. We do 45-ish minutes of live side split stretching every single day to practice consistency, build a little bit of community, and hopefully together we make a bunch of progress because you keep coming back, I keep coming back. Well, I have to be here, but you keep coming back, and we get a whole bunch of practice in so that we can finally get some side splits done. Gayeta says, I literally just woke up. Well, good morning. Gayeta is been super consistent on our 9 p.m. ones, and now I have thrown a wrench into her sleep schedule. It is now morning and night on the weekends. Angel says, I wasn't ready. New location? Yes, one of the reasons I missed Friday and decided to do the morning one was because I was traveling and I couldn't make it. So this is where I'm traveling to, I guess, to this new hallway. Okay, I think that's most of the chat. Let's keep going. We are moving on into stretch number 3, the standing pancake. It looks basically like this. We are folding at the hips, opening our legs decently wide, nothing crazy. The goal is to fold forward. That's it. Boom. This is the standing pancake. This is the starting position. From the side, it looks a little bit like this. Looks like we're just trying to touch our toes, right? That's it. That's standing pancake. The ultimate goal of the pancake is to bring our belly button so low into the ground that our head is in between our legs. And that is crazy hard. So we do the variation of this stretch where we stand and we have gravity pulling our whole entire upper body down. All right, this standing pancake is great for that. And pretty much anytime you feel like your hamstrings are too tight, just do the standing version of whatever stretch is recommended. From here, while you are folded forward, you should have a little bit more hip mobility, range of motion accessible to you to open up your legs wider if you want it. You don't have to. From here, we want our chest to get pulled down into the ground by gravity. So how do we make it more intense? You can extend your arms out in front of you. You can hold something while you do that, and suddenly you should feel that it gets into a way more intense stretch. If you are struggling with balancing, you feel like you're gonna fall forward onto your face, you can stick your hips and your butt a little bit further back behind you to help counterbalance. And it could look a little bit like this. If you're a little bit less flexible, you're not quite as deep, it might look a little bit more like this. And that is totally okay. We're gonna hold that stretch for 30 seconds. We're gonna try and bring the belly button down to the ground. And I'll see you in 30 seconds. Let's go. Open the legs, hips back, fold the belly button down, extend the arms if you can. If you can't, you can always just take a break. Let's go. 30 seconds. 30, 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24. I don't know why I'm lifting the yoga blocks. They weigh almost nothing. 22, 21, 20, except they were enough that my arms are tired. 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. Remember, belly button down. 4, 3, 2, 1. 0. Put your hands down. Oh, man. Come on up out of that stretch. Back into standing. Take a couple seconds. Recover. If your hips are tired, that is incredibly normal because we just did something really tough. The two main places you're going to feel this is in the inner thighs. These muscles, the adductors, ADD, is designed to do this. Pull your leg towards a little past center. So when you do the opposite, when you go whoosh and try to do a standing pancake with your legs way far apart, these muscles are getting stretched. The other place you're feeling it is in your hamstrings. Your hamstrings attach to the bottom of your pelvis, so pretty much right underneath your butt, and they end up just below the knee. So anytime your hips fold forward, the bottom of your butt is getting further away from the knee because it's going from here all the way out to back here. And that is where that hamstring stretch is being felt, right? So it doesn't matter if your legs are together, like we're just touching our toes like normal, or if your legs are apart, your hamstrings are going to kick you in the butt when you start falling forward. So you know why that works. Okay, that is the third stretch. We've talked a little bit to give yourself a little bit of time to recover from the pain of the standing pancake. We're going to move on into the fourth stretch. The fourth stretch is either the figure four or the pigeon. Is either or because I want to give you options, but I'm going to explain one. For the figure four, we'll bring the leg across the body, and it's going to make this thing that kind of looks like the number four. It's kind of hard to see because it's like kind of shadowy and dark, but I promise you, underneath the waist, my legs are making the number four. From here, we're going to reach down, grab that leg, pull it up, and try to bring the belly button down towards that leg. We're folding. It's always about the belly button. And I guess technically it's about the hips, but I like the belly button. From here, we want to feel the stretch out here in the side of the butt in the outer hip area. That's the whole thing. So what I just demonstrated was a standing-ish variation-ish of the figure four stretch. If you want to go ahead and roll with that, you can go ahead and roll with that. But that is also basically what a pigeon looks like. I don't know if this table is stable enough for this. It seems good. Okay. If you want to do a pigeon instead, you're basically raising this leg over and folding forward like so. We got options for you to experiment with the pigeon depending on what random things you have available to work on. Okay, we're going to talk about the figure four, I think, because we did the pigeon earlier this morning. So in the figure four, we're going to lay down on our backs, and we're going to take this leg that we want to stretch. We're going to cross it over to the other side. We're going to reach our arms in and around the other knee that's not getting stretched. We're going to pull that leg in towards our chest. Boom, this is the figure four stretch. This is the whole thing. We are ready to go. Go ahead and start. 30 seconds. 30, 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24. I realized that my random introduction of the pigeon on the table is probably super confusing, so that's my bad. You can ignore all of that. 20, 19, 18, 17, 16. You might feel inclined to close your eyes and take a little bit of a break. I encourage you not to, and instead pull a little bit harder on that leg, apply a little bit more pressure, really feel it in this hip side glute area. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Ooh, that is the figure four on one side. We got one last side left, and then we'll be ready for some side splits. So everything that we're doing is in preparation for the side splits. We pre-stretch all the muscles that we need for the side splits, and realistically, for most of them, we're going more intense than they would be going on the side splits themselves, so that we are super prepared to take advantage of the side splits when we do get to them. All right, let's switch to the other side. Crossing the leg over to the other side, reaching our arms through and pulling that knee towards your chest. If this knee, the bent knee, is feeling a little bit of an ache because your heel is getting pushed on, you can give your knee a little bit of support by just cupping that knee. Cool? Let's go. 30 seconds. 30, 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16. Again, don't relax too much. Keep on working that hip. 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Oh, that is your figure four stretch. We are all done with that. I hope you enjoyed the stretch for this outer hip side glute area. Relax for a second. We're about to get into side splits. It's going to get more intense. So enjoy this moment. Grab a sip of water, take a little bit of a break, come back up into standing, and I'm going to talk about safety. One of the things that we're going to do is get really close to a wall so that if you're in a side split-ish position, you start falling backwards, the wall will be right there to keep you safe. In this case, I'm going to replace the wall with this table because I don't have enough space to do this. Actually, maybe I do. Maybe I do. If you are in a side split E position this way and you start falling backwards, you're like, oh no, I'm falling. Ah. If the wall is right here, you're not falling very far. Your butt's gonna hit, maybe your shoulders are gonna hit. If you tuck your head won't hit, and you'll be super duper safe. So you can go ahead and do that. This is about one step in front of the wall, maybe 1.5 steps in front of the wall, 8 to 12 inches. So go ahead and get into a position where if you start falling backwards, you feel safe. I have this desk over here, and it just so happens that it's very sharp and pointy, so that's not super pleasant, but if I get into a decently deep stretch and I start falling backwards, I can just stick my elbow out and catch myself. So experiment, figure out what you can do to help you feel a little bit safer in this stretched position when you start falling backwards. That way you can save your bum a little bit of stress and you can feel very comfortable when you are getting into this dangerous position. Okay, let's get into the side splits. I'm gonna get rid of these blocks. Don't need them. Okay. Whew. So far, we have done a whole bunch of warm-up. We've done a whole bunch of stretches, all to prepare ourselves for what is to come. We are doing 3 rounds of 30 seconds of the side splits. We've talked about safety with the table or the wall behind you. So now let's get into some side splits. Open up those legs nice and wide. You should not feel any pain in your hips. If you are feeling pain, you can come back up just a little bit. Fold at the hips. Put your hands down like you're gonna do a little bit of a push-up. We're not doing this because we want you to do push-ups. We're doing this because we want to put some of that weight and shift it into your arms and out of your legs so that it's easier to externally rotate them, which means we are bringing the heels down, pointing the toes up, and pointing the knees up into the air, okay? On both sides, heels down, toes up, knees up. What that opens up for us is it rotates the thigh bone out of the way so it doesn't smash into some of the stuff going on in your hips, and that lets you go deeper into the side split. You might notice, perhaps, that if you had some hip pain before, while we're warming up and getting into this position, that it is not there right now. That is what happens when you externally rotate your legs. From here, walk your hands back towards your hips, take that weight that you put forward, bring it right back into your legs, start the suffering, and do a little bit of a wiggle from side to side. Try and break the last little bit of friction, holding your feet back from a deeper side split. And once you're as deep as you can get, let's go. 30 seconds. 30, 29, 28, 27. Oh, look, the table is good for this too. 26, 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19. Don't hold your breath. Keep on breathing. 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. We are done with that first 30-second hold. Walk your hands forward. Pull your legs in underneath you. Come into a quick kneeling position. Relax. Breathe. And when you can, come back into standing. What we just did was put a whole bunch of tension into our leg muscles and make them really tired all in one go. What we want to do now is to try our best to relax the muscles as much as we can so that when we get back into the side splits, they are as fresh as possible. What that looks like is we're going to flick our hands and we're going to flick our legs like this. I want you to imagine that you just got out of a swimming pool and you're trying to dry off your feet, that is the type of flicking I want you to try to do with your legs. We're gonna do this for 5 to 10 seconds on each side. I'm pretty sure I've been doing this for way longer than 5 seconds. So I'm gonna switch over to the other side. You can take your time. Flick, 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 flick. I know it looks a little bit silly, it looks a little bit weird. If this is the first time on the show, I promise it works. What we're doing is we're forcefully trying to do things that help the muscles to relax. If your muscles were tense, like you just did 10, 100,000 bicep curls, then your arm would be like this, right? You wouldn't even be able to fully extend your elbow. You'd be like stuck, and then you'd be like, this is my robot position, because all those muscles are tight and freaking out. What we want to do is avoid that for our leg muscles. And the way we're doing it is making sure they behave as if they're loose, they're floppy, they're wiggly, they're jiggly, and the best way to do that is to just shake it all out. As you get more skilled at this over time, you'll be able to relax the muscles a little bit more on demand, and it'll happen a lot quicker, and your legs and arms will just flop around and shake a lot faster. And that's it. Shake them out. With that, we want to do one last thing before we do some hip and joint checks. I want you to really focus on keeping your hips straight and rotating that leg in and out of that hip socket. So internal and external rotation. Point your knees in, point your knees out. Keep the hips in the same place, so all of this movement is coming from the leg bone, rotating in your hips. You don't have to do very many, just a little bit to loosen up these muscles, because we're using them in that side split. And when we shake our legs, it doesn't necessarily do much to relax the hip stuff going on. It focuses mostly on the leg muscles. All right, you only have to do 3 or 4 on each side, and we're ready to move on. Let's do some quick checks for the joints before we continue. What that looks like is hip circles. We want to just do a little bit of movement to make sure all the stress and all the shaking we just didn't do anything weird to your joints. If those felt good, you can continue with some high knees. Don't have to do very many. Just putting a little bit of a test out there to make sure everything is feeling good. We're going to pop into a mini squat, put some pressure in the knees, put some pressure in the ankles, put some pressure into those toes and feet. Try to come up onto a calf raise just to make sure all of those joints are working well together. If they are, or they're working normal enough for you, then we're ready to move on into side split number 2. I hope you're ready, because we're going. Once again, 8 to 12 inches in front of whatever you're gonna be in front of for support, so you don't fall backwards onto your butt. And let's open up those legs. Remember, it's not supposed to hurt at the hips, so if it does, you can come back up, fold forward first, and then you can try to drop back down again. Put your hands down like you're doing a mini push-up, so that we shift some of that body weight into the hands to make it easier on the legs to do this. External rotation. Heels are down, toes are up, knees are up. Heels down, toes up, knees are up. All right. Walk those hands back towards your hips. My butt just smashed into the table leg a little bit too hard. That was a loud vibration. Whoops. And once you are here, we're going to add one little wiggle from side to side to break the last little bit of friction holding our feet back. That's it. Let's go. 30 seconds. 30, 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All right, lean forward, walk your hands forward, pull the legs in underneath you. Chill, rest. That With side split number 2, we're only doing 3 in total. So this is our second and our most important rest. So make it count, shake out those legs, come back into standing, and let's start shaking it out. Shake, 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 flick, 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 wiggle, 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 wiggle. And as you get better, you can more aggressively shake out that leg. That's one side. Let's do the other. Feel free to grab onto something for a little bit better balance. You don't have to lift your leg out as ridiculously as I am. It's totally fine if it's just slightly in front of you, off to the side. And once your legs are flopping around, let's do the little internal and external rotation. Again, hips locked in place, knees going in and out and in and out. Rotation is coming from that hip socket, not your knee. Other side. Loosen up those hip muscles that were strained in the side split. And we're going to do some joint checks. Let's go. Hip circles. 1. Ooh, what's going on? Got a low battery warning. All right, we got 20 seconds or 20% battery left. It's good. We're fine. Hip circles. Do as many as you want. Make sure they feel normal. High knees. If everything's feeling good, keep on going. We're going to do a mini squat. Put some pressure in the knees, put some pressure in the ankles, put some pressure in that feet, in your toesies. Come on up, do a calf raise. And if your legs are feeling more or less normal, then we are ready to continue into side split number 3. Keep on shaking out those legs. I got stuff to say. If you're just joining, we just did 45 minutes, maybe an hour at this point. I'm too far from the camera to tell, of live side splits stretching. And we do this every day to practice consistency, build a little bit of community so that we can suffer on the floor together and keep on putting the work in. I try to bring good vibes. I hope you enjoy the good vibes. I hope you bring your own great energy into the chat to be supportive of the rest of the community. Ask questions, hang out, and hopefully together with consistency, we'll be able to make a bunch of progress in our side splits together. So if that sounds cool, if this is your kind of way to spend the morning or the evening, then hit follow, hit subscribe, keep coming back. We do this every single day. Our usual time is at 9 p.m. Eastern. On the weekends, I'm experimenting with doing a show at 9 a.m. Eastern, and this is where you're at right now. And with that, let's get into side split number 3. Once again, get close to that wall. 1 footstep in front. Open up those legs nice and wide. Fold forward. Put your hands down like you're doing a push-up so that you can externally rotate the legs, which means your heels are down, your toes are pointing up, your knees are pointing up. Heels down, toes up, knees up. From here, just chill for a second. See if you can get into a much deeper split than that first one that we just did, and enjoy the flexibility that you now know you have. All right, walk your hands back towards your hips. That weight that we put in front of us to help us rotate, we're putting it right back into our legs. We're trying to get as deep as we can for this third and final side split stretch. Do a little wiggle from side to side. Work on breaking that last little bit of friction, holding your feet back. I keep on adjusting this ear, but it's like it's jumping out of my face. Okay, that's it. Let's go. 30 seconds. Make it count. 30, 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All right. Ooh. Walk those hands forward. Bring your knees in. If your hips don't feel like they're working, that is totally normal. We just did 3 really intense rounds of side splits. Kneel there for a little bit. Catch your breath. When we come back up into standing, we're going to shake out those legs. We're going to do the hip checks, joint checks one more time, and then we will be all done. So you have been fantastic. Congratulations. Working hard. Okay, we're standing. Let's shake it out. Shake, 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 shake. Feel free to hold on to something while you shake out the leg. Shake, 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 wiggle, 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 flop, flop, flop. Add in some more motion. If you've only been flicking backwards and forwards at sort of this knee, doing all the work, try and see if you can add in a little bit of the hip, do a little bit of a wiggle, maybe add in a little bit of rotation at that hip, so you look a little bit like this. This leg, we've been doing a long time. Let's do the other side. Shake, 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 wiggle, 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 flop, 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 flop. Let those muscles relax. And once you've done that for a little bit, let's go ahead and move on into those hip things. In, out, in, out, in, out. Right now, if you haven't caught on, my toes or the ball of my feet is down, and all of the motion is coming from here at the hip socket. My knee is not really changing angles. My knee is not squirming or moving anywhere. It is all rotation coming from the hip. Cool? All right. Other side. With that, let's do our hip checks or joint checks. Hip circles. Whew. After 3 rounds, usually, these muscles on the sides of my hips feel quite tender and need a little bit of extra love. If that's you as well, take a couple of extra seconds, do a couple of extra hip circles. When you're ready to move on, do some high knees. And then we're gonna do one last mini squat. Put some pressure in the knees, put some pressure in the ankles, put some pressure in those toes. Work on some calf raises. And if everything felt normal, more or less, then we are all done. I am coming over to the chat, checking it out, answering questions, and wrapping up the rest of the show. Come on over, sit my butt down. Let's see, what are we doing? Over here on YouTube, Queen RR is killing it in the comments. What is happening? Jörg Brown says, can you get injured with these stretches? Like, will you insure us if we get injured? No. You can, yes, you can absolutely get injured doing these stretches. Is it likely? Probably not, because we start with a good and gentle warm-up, and then we build up into stronger and stronger stretches as we go. But I don't know what your situation is, so you have to be responsible for your own health. And if you get injured doing the exercises, that's kind of have to be on you. So if you feel like that doesn't work out for you and you're not emotionally committed enough to get into the side splits or do the stretches, then I recommend that you don't. Oh, Queen R really answered it with, that's nice. Okay, Paul Kant 2345 says, sup. And the question Yorick followed up with, is he training to become the next Jean-Claude Van Damme? No, but Van Damme is a huge inspiration. And ever since I saw that commercial of him doing a side split in between 2 trucks, I think 2 Volvo trucks, driving backwards, or whatever on the closed course, I was like, damn, that's badass. I really need to get these. I don't know when that commercial came out, but it's probably been longer than a decade. So I've been thinking about this for over a decade, and now I'm putting it to work. Cool. All right. I think that is everything on YouTube, so I'm coming back over onto TikTok, and I think the last time I checked the chat was quite a while ago, so give me a second while I scroll back through and figure out what is up. Ooh, Queen RR looked it up for me and says, I think the ad was in 2013. Yeah, I've been thinking about it for a little over 12 or 13 years, I guess. Finally getting to work on it. I don't think I'll get anywhere close to... I just lost an earbud. Give me a second. I'm sorry, TikTok. I'm pretty sure you just heard the flopping of fallen earbud flying across the hallway. Melinda Geeks says, make the next challenge abs and core. That is not a terrible idea. I think most likely, if we were to maintain this exact format, I would probably do the other split, the front split, first, since I'm already working on hips and getting that mobility. But I am curious about putting together other lives. So, if abs and core is a big, interesting topic that people want to work on, that's something we can make happen. You don't need that much time to get an insane ab workout, and you don't need that much equipment to get a very insane ab workout. So, that is totally possible. So, if you're super interested in getting some exercise done and not just stretching, that might be in the works for maybe not this year. 2025 is almost over, but 2026 might be a thing. So, if that sounds interesting, let me know in the comments or send me a message and we will look into it. I will look into it. Okay, scrolling down, Gayeta says, see everyone later. Thank you for waking up for the side splits. I hope you aren't just going back to bed. Maddie says, uh-oh. I don't know what uh-oh is about, but Traveler actually responded to liking the ab workout. Che says, for the gains. Okay, I'm scrolling back down. Angel says, Lo, I definitely got ready for standing pigeon. Oh no, I'm sorry. The standing pigeon, I think I just realized that the table would be really good for demonstrating standing pigeon. For the last couple of lives, I've been doing it in a different location, and we just have really crappy chairs or these little tiny yoga blocks that, obviously wiggle and shake a lot. So when I realized that I can use the table for the standing pigeon, I just had to do it on the spot, and I'm sure that was really confusing, so that's my bad. But for tomorrow's live, we will be doing pigeon, and one of the ways we'll talk about flexibility for the back leg that's supposed to go all the way back is doing it from something that's elevated like a table so that your leg doesn't have to go as far back. Yorick asks, does doing splits hurt your balls? That is a great question. It is a common question. It really doesn't. Like, it has absolutely nothing to do with that part of your legs at all. And then you have to be super flexible for that part of your body to actually hit the ground, because it's the highest part the whole time. So if you are badass enough to drop all the way down, maybe, but most people aren't ever going to get there. So I don't think so. Okay. Angel, figure 4 is cool too, I guess. Sorry. We had to sub out the thing because it's easier to explain the figure 4. Actually, I just can't even remember what we're doing anymore because I've done so many sessions these last 2 days. I can't remember what happened earlier or before or yesterday. Angel says, my left knee isn't relaxed enough, but this is the furthest I've gotten with side splits. Incredible. Congratulations, Angel. That is awesome. Thank you for being super consistent and practicing. That is awesome to hear. All right. That is so challenging. I can't yet make it to 30 seconds. Angel, I have no idea what exercise we were doing at the moment in time. Was it the splits? It is totally normal to not be able to do 30 seconds. One of the great things about the way that we get into the side splits, and I'll demonstrate a little bit right now, is we fold forward at the hips, put our hands down, open up the legs nice and wide, right? In this position, if your legs go all the way wide, that is a perfect side split position. But if you're just hang out like this, if you care about gymnastics or maybe even like cheerleading as a sport, this is also called the straddle because you're trying to open up your legs wide. So just by focusing on rotating which part of your body is getting pulled down on gravity more, you can change the stretch just a little bit so that in those 30 seconds, instead of all of the pressure coming this way, you can add a little bit like this, or you can even add in a little bonus and make it like a pancake. The pancake stretch is basically just folding your belly button down, right? So if you get really, really squished, get really, really folded, you can change that into a little bit more of a pancake than a side split and a little bit more of a straddle than a side split. You got options. Pretty much you need a little bit of all three in order to get a side split anyway. So it doesn't really matter that much which one you're doing. So if you need to take a little bit of a break, you can just shift your hips a little bit and change where the pressure is coming from. Cool? Okay. Let's see. T. Whitley asked, "What time do you start in the mornings?" And Travel with Roxy answered, "Usually my lives are at 9 p.m. Eastern, but on the weekends I'm working on the second live. This is my second one of all time at 9 a.m. Eastern." But yes, the normal time is 9 p.m. T. Whitney says, "Thank you to Roxy. Awesome, awesome." And sent a heart. Lovely. Shimito asked, "This was my first time. I couldn't do most of the stretches that deep, but I did what I could." That is awesome. That is amazing. I have been doing this pretty much exact show with like ever so slight small changes for about a year. And I started, yeah, I think the only thing that I was there anything that's remotely close? Uh, no, I think I've made a lot of progress in every single stretch. So uh, it's taken me a long time to build up the amount of mobility that I have demonstrated today. And I hope to share that with you and keep that going so that you guys can also practice the consistency needed to get into really, really deep, stretchy positions. So I appreciate that you're here. I appreciate that it's your first time. I appreciate that you commented on your first time. And I appreciate that you tried your best to do the stretches. And I hope that you get the message that this is all about practicing consistency, coming back and doing the work so that you can get deeper a little bit at a time. Cool. Rezi says, LOL. uh, whew. All right, let's see. Wow, I have so many chats to respond to. Dun, 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 dun. Junie says, "It's live over. Didn't know there'd be another morning one." Junie, yeah, you just missed it. I'm sorry. I'm pretty sure that question also came in a while ago. So I'm extra sorry that I'm only making it down to the chat now. Angel says, "Thank you, thank you." Dee says, "It was a great advertisement." Yes. Oh, what? Angel says, "We refer to you as Dr. Ken in this household. You're saving lives." Man, that makes me feel good. I appreciate it, but I feel undeserving of such a title. I have a lot of friends who are doctors and they have worked their butts off. I feel bad stealing the title, but I appreciate the implication that you feel like I'm offering a lot to you and bringing a lot of help. Rezi says, "Thank you. Some of the stretching reminded me of Pilates." Yeah, Pilates is great, and it does a little bit of strengthening. A lot of strengthening while trying to work a little bit on mobility, and there's a lot of core work. So Pilates is a fantastic way to be able to get a lot of exercise in for very minimal setup as well, right? Floor Pilates, mat Pilates, excuse me, is a great situation to go do if you want to get stronger a little bit more than you want to practice purely on mobility. Let's see. Angel says, "Don't apologize. I don't know what I was apologizing for, so I'm gonna just pretend I didn't." Oh, nice. "I will add more movement. I'm better with forward folds and pancakes." Yes, yes, okay, exactly. That is awesome. The pancake, the side split are very closely related. So if you can, if you're a little bit tired in one range of motion, just switch the angles up a little bit, work on the other thing a little bit more, and you can take the pressure off of the parts that are a little beat up today. Lulu says, "Hi, today early class." Yeah, so I wanted to try the 9 a.m. class one more time. Is this a new time for class? Lulu, no, don't worry. The 9 p.m. is going to be the regular time. 9 a.m. is probably what we're just doing for the mornings on weekends. And I can't imagine most people can make 9 a.m. Eastern because the audience is mostly US on the lives. Okay. Whew. I think I've gone through all of the chat. I don't know who's still on after listening to all of my shenanigans here. But thank you for being here. I hope you enjoyed practicing the side splits. I hope you feel like you can practice a little bit of consistency every single day, or at least, a couple of times a week. I'm gonna be here anyway, so I hope that you'll join me and we can work on that mobility together. Junie says, "Me!" Exclamation point. Yes. That's adorable. Okay. I hope you had fun. I hope you got a great workout. I hope you enjoyed the rest of your weekend, because that's it. That's it. I'm gone. There is one more live this weekend, and that is in about 11 hours ish. We're going to wrap up this weekend with a 9 p.m. Eastern live. So I will see you in 11 ish hours if you are ready for more side splits. It might be a lot to come to all four this weekend. You didn't even know that they were happening, but if you do come to all four, uh, it might be a little bit much. So take your time, chill, relax, take longer breaks, do what you got to do to take care of yourself because we don't want to overdo it. All right. Thank you, Lulu. Thank you, Junie. I hope to see you later today or tomorrow. Bye. Okay, closing out the chat. Bye bye. And now.